Hi all, Hipper here. Today I have a pretty interesting battle here with Wichita, and it kind of revolves around the whole legendary uh, meta as it is now, and how to take advantage of that. And pretty much in Wichita, um, if you start on this map, and there's a lot of legendaries, like there is in this battle. I think there's 5 on each team, 4 or 5, I can't remember. Um, then you can be pretty sure that none of those legendary players are going to be pushing in from the beginning of the match. So with only one destroyer on the enemy team, like if you're in a cruiser, you should push in. Um, at least if you have an agile build. If you have a hidey behind a rocky build, then yeah, don't push in. But then nobody's gonna be able to cap. Just keep that in mind. So like I said, I'll just gonna go in full speed, and exactly like I suspected, all the legendaries are going to stay far away from the action. And I mean, that makes sense if you're in a big fat battleship, so it's not a criticism. It's just a fact that if you have an agile cruiser and there's a lot of legendary battleships on the enemy team, you're going to have a pretty good game, because you'll be able to like outsmart their salvos like that, like we just did there, and you'll be able to play the destroyer role, and in Wichita you even have radar, so you'll be able to really make a difference. Now, like a battle like this with this many legendary battleships, unless you are unlucky and get like a crazy citadel at some point, then a Witherer medal is almost a guarantee, because pretty much HEing these ships is the only way you're going to be able to make a dent in the battle in Wichita. You don't have any torps, and your AP is not effective against these ships here, unless you are at point blank range and you don't want to be that close to them. So first of all, we gotta make sure that we cap, because we don't have a destroyer at all on our team. So it's up to the cruisers to take on that role. And as you can see on the map, I'm the only one actually doing it. So now we've had a cap. The enemy has a cap as well, because one of their cruisers was brave enough to go in. And that's partly because our team seems to be a little bit scatterbrained of the, like just like the enemy team, they are keeping distance and they're staying far away from the action. So that leaves me to do pretty much what I want in here. So now we have a Yamato there that's actually closing in. He's only 10k's away, most of them are actually, but they're sitting in cover back there. So now that the cap has been taken, I can take a little bit of a more of a less aggressive role. There's a lot of battleships there, and they would all like to citadel Wichita. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of distance between myself and these guys here, and then leave the actual punishing of the battleships up to my battleships, which is the whole point. And as you can see, they are going to fire at me, but that's all right. One salvo at me means no salvos at my battleships, and they get to do their thing uninterrupted, pretty much. And now the Kurfürst is also taking a shot at me, and at this distance, that is really just a waste of a legendary salvo. It could be used much better other ways. So that's another little tip there. Agile cruisers work really well against legendary. You of course have to be careful, especially in the more squishy ones like Atago and Mogami. I wouldn't be this close in an Atago. I was probably going to be at 14 kilometers just to give myself just a little bit more time to react. But because Wichita's radar is so fast, it's less than 2 seconds, I can be this much closer and still not be in too much trouble. Yeah, some guy wants to retreat as a... Of course, it's the guy hiding behind an island being absolutely useless. So now I am going to start to flank these guys. And I do that for several reasons. Like one, all my battleships are pretty much bow on, and that's exactly how it should be. So I want to put some pressure on these guys from the side. And there's another reason I want to do this. That's because if they want to be able to shoot back at me, and usually they get really, really annoyed when you set a lot of fires on them, that means they have to turn their turrets my direction and not pointing them at my battleship's direction. And that actually gives a lot of free time for my team to do whatever they have to do, and for myself, of course, except I have to make sure that I'm out of the way when they actually fire. So here I'm not realized I'm spotted by a plane now, and this Yamato here takes the opportunity, and I'm pretty lucky here. I could have been Citadel. I was just sitting broadside on. He takes a lot of my health, but he doesn't kill me. So that was a major mistake on my part. As soon as that plane icon showed up, I should have gone into hiding, but I don't know, for some reason I missed it. So it's all about setting fires on these guys and really pissing them off so they make mistakes. And we'll try to get a little bit in a better position now. Now they seem to be scattering a bit, and we don't really have any good shots anymore. So like I said, I'm gonna go a little bit more on the flank now. And see, there's the Wither, and we're only, what, 7 minutes into the game. So now we have this guy here. He thinks it's safe behind the mountain, but he's not. And that really is the whole point of these crossfires here. I keep pursuing, because now he's under pressure to reposition. And while he's doing that, he is going to make a mistake. He's going to show broadside or something that my team can take advantage of. And there's, oh, the terrible, terrible end of the map. See there, he got citadeled because he was reversing out of his little hidey hole there, and that's because I pushed him into it. I can't tell how many times this map border here has caused me to get citadeled by someone that I absolutely shouldn't have any problem killing. Of course, it's my fault for not keeping an eye on the action, but yeah, really, it's annoying. So down goes the Kurfürst, and that Yamato here that we kind of forced out from its hidey hole is nearly dead now. And that's less than a minute ago since I started firing in on him. Take a few hits there, unfortunately. But we can still put pressure on him. And luckily we have a battleship with us here, and that really helps when you're pushing a flank like this. If only more battleship players would do this, and also more cruiser players actually entering a cap like I did at the beginning of this game. Like I said before, there's nothing to fear when there's this many legendaries on the team. Like, you'll get in there way ahead of them, even if they steam in full speed, which they never do. People who play these ships are very conscious of the service fee and the fact that they're very vulnerable to torpedoes and getting ganged up on. So usually legendary players, they play really safely. I'm not gonna say boring, but sometimes legendary battles tend to get pretty boring in my opinion, because everybody plays really carefully. So now we just gotta make sure we angle for this one here. We take a bit, but not too bad. But we cannot survive another salvo, so we really need that Yamato dead. And luckily we get to set a fire there. And I keep calling it out as a target, because I cannot afford another salvo from that guy. And luckily I don't have to. So see, we're down 2 caps, but there's only 1 enemy left. So I mean, on this flank here we did really well, exceptionally well, especially because most of our legendaries were hiding. Like the Yamato in the beginning, all he did was sit behind an island the whole game. And if you can't get your guns on the enemy, you're doing something wrong. At least the enemy Yamato, remember, he was sitting behind, I actually think he was sitting behind this island here. And he was safe, but he was still able to shoot and take advantage of those broadsides that would present itself across the map. Like if you sit behind a big fat island and you're not able to shoot, then you are wasting your time playing this game, basically. Now we just have to make this Mogami here understand that he should go and cap B, because he's the closest person. I can't believe sometimes you have to make sure people understand these things. But apparently sometimes it's necessary. But at least he does what everybody's asking, so that's perfect. So I will hit in as well, but I see this enemy Mogami is hiding behind the island, and he's just launched a plane, so I know exactly where he is. And I don't want to go into B this way, because he'll be able to citadel me. So I'll just see if I can chase him off a bit more than he already is. Perhaps even sink him, but he is really far out. And Mogami is an agile cruiser, and this guy definitely has an agile build, because I'm having a tough time hitting him. He does a really good job wasting my time and my team's time trying to take him out. Now I should probably turn around here, but I don't want this guy to reset the B cap, or in the worst case actually sink the guy out there, because we need this cap to win. We are behind on points, and we either need this Mogami dead, or we need it so far away that it won't be able to reset the timer on the B cap, because that battleship there is not gonna make it in time to help him cap. So we're just gonna have to chase this guy away here. See, he thought he was safe there, but he wasn't. But now he's got eyes for me, and I'm low on health. And the worst thing you can face in an agile cruiser is another agile cruiser. So now I am going to try to disengage, because I don't have enough health to take on this guy. But I don't want to show broadside here. I mean, he's just waiting for me to show broadside. So we're playing this game of chicken here, and now I'm trying to trick him into shooting. And he's still firing HE for some reason. So now I'm taking the chance to turn around here. I'm on fire, and I still have 30 seconds on my damage con, so it's gonna be a very, very, very close one here, because if I die, then we'll definitely lose this battle, because we'll lose a lot of points then that we can't catch up to in time. We only have 1 minute 40 seconds left. So it's pretty much a battle of the agile cruisers here. He only needs probably 2 HE shells to hit me, and then the battle is his. But now I'm not spotted anymore, so all is good.
Retreat now.
Yeah. I'm retreating now. So the only thing that can cost us the victory now is if that cruiser on our team gets sunk. That's very, very far ahead.
Get back.
And yeah, Kurfürst has the same thought that I have. And he really should retreat. There's no point. But I mean, you see this all the time in battles. Like, there's a few seconds left, and really, the only thing everybody has to do is to do nothing. And then someone decides to, some destroyer decides to take on a Cleveland one-on-one or something like that, and then you lose the game. And yeah, well, those things happen, and it's frustrating. Yes, it is. But as a solo player, you'll just have to you just have to accept these weird plays by other people and just carry on. I mean, at least in this battle, I have plenty of damage, so I'm happy, and we are going to pull off the win as well. So I have nothing to complain about. And I also got a dreadnought there, so that's pretty good. Anyway, so pretty much what I wanted to say here is if you are in an agile cruiser against lots of legendaries, don't be afraid to push in. They usually keep their distance. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you out there.